Today,
we're making meatloaf. We're going to smoke it. So let's get to it.
welcome back to Cooking with OTK.
Can be done in your oven as well. All right, we're getting our onion.
Purple onion at that. So
Awesome.
what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting 1 cup diced or cubed, you could say.
In between chopping and dice. I'm sure there's a technical term, but it is not coming to me.
It's all right. Sometimes that happens, you know.
That's going to equal about a cup. So
Yeah, that'll be about a cup. So about half an onion is going to be what we're going to do. That actually might be a little more than a cup.
Again, it's a meatloaf. You don't have to be exact. You can add, take away. That's the fun of cooking.
Exactly. So set that onion aside, and then we're going to get our herbs ready. The herb mon.
Doing some thyme, as we said, fresh thyme. Could we substitute these with dried?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Freeze-dried would be better.
Freeze-dried would. And freeze-dried, you could do a 1-to-1. If you did regular dried, about a teaspoon, I think is the ratio.
Right,
tablespoon of fresh to a teaspoon of dried. So if you were going to use dried, then just instead of a tablespoon, use a teaspoon.
And my favorite part about doing thyme is you just get to pull it like that. So you just take it and you just lightly pinch and you just pull the sprig through your fingers. Voila! And you got all the thyme in your finger. All the time in the world.
That's about...
It's about a tablespoon. It's a fluffy tablespoon, we'll call it.
You don't have to compact everything into your measuring cup. You can just, you know, round about. Then you have your basil. Just gonna do just, again, just simple...
Chop it.
Yeah, that's gonna be end up about a tablespoon. Typically, some people may do a chiffonade with basil, but we don't need to. We're just gonna do a little rough chop.
Yeah.
I like to roll the leaves together.
Yeah, it's a good technique whenever you're chopping any kind of leafy green. Kind of roll them together so you can get nice uniform cut.
That's a little extra. That's okay. We will save this and we can use it for something else.
Yeah, maybe a garnish.
Yes. And then we're going to take about the same amount of parsley. You can use flat leaf parsley. A lot of people prefer flat leaf parsley or Italian parsley. You know, I like the curly parsley.
I do like curly parsley. For me, it's just more satisfying to cut it, honestly.
Yes, and it's fun, and it makes a prettier garnish because it's all...
It does.
Ooh. All right, now our
herbs are ready, man.
So this is a really simple recipe. All you gotta do, you're just taking some things, mixing them together. Now it's important not to overwork your meat.
Yep.
So some of the wet ingredients, just gonna grab a bowl.
For our eggs, so we can get them pre-mixed, basically, so we're not overworking that meat like we were just talking about.
And to that, we might as well just put all our...
Don't forget, this is an excellent step, so...
I'm out, I quit. So we're gonna need a tablespoon of Worcestershire. Put that over here. Cider vinegar. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons, and this is brag. I love this stuff. It even comes with a mother.
It does. So you really don't have to buy it more than once, but...
Yeah, you can just keep on adding cider to it and making vinegar. But they do have a really quality vinegar. And, oh,
Need our can opener.
I've gotten good at remembering this on the few cans we use. And we're gonna use about half a cup.
So it's just half of that container.
Don't throw it away because we're gonna reserve, kind of make a final glaze at the end. And I love that you can buy the small cans of the tomato sauce. It's very convenient to have the small cans, not have to buy a big can and then end up wasting it.
Exactly.
You can just give this a nice little whisk.
Yeah. Now make sure you don't fork around, okay?
So we're gonna set that aside. Oh, I do want to grate some cheese.
Yes, that would be a great idea. I am full of puns today.
Yeah, so punny. So we're using a pepper jack. You can use a cheddar, any particular cheese you like. Sometimes a smoked Gouda.
Yes.
If you're baking it and you want that smoky flavor, use a smoked Gouda. It'll help give the meatloaf a little smoke flavor.
Exactly.
So we're just gonna grade. Need about a quarter to half a cup. We'll say a quarter cup.
And in worst case, if you do a little extra, all that means is you get a little cheesy snack.
Yes.
Because you sneezed right when I said that.
It's about a half a cup.
Yeah. And of course, you don't have to be so precise. We're not.
Yes, I mean, if we're not building a piano,
Yeah.
we're
it's
making
true.
a meatloaf.
It's meatloaf. You have that little area of gray. So now we're going to be mixing our meats.
Yes, and that's why I love gloves. Some people just use a spoon. I like to feel it, get it mixed in, and it helps that you don't over mix. So
Yes, it does. Because, you know, when you use your hands, you've got 10 mini spatulas.
that's right. Got built-in tongs. So we're gonna add our 1 pound of beef and 1 pound of pork. And then to that, got 1 cup of just regular panko breadcrumbs. I'm just gonna help bind everything together.
What if somebody wanted to make their own like croutons and crush them up? Could they do that?
Yes, you could totally, and we've done it several times. We've used hamburger buns.
Yeah, we have.
On the
some
fly.
brioche buns. Not even like toasted even. We've done that before.
Yeah. I mean, it's just really, you're using our bread to get everything to stay together.
Yeah. Get a little sticky, get that gluten.
So once we get that, we're going to throw in our cheese.
Cheese, perfect.
I'm going to go ahead and just use all of it.
Might as well.
And then we got our onion. Kind of break it up as you put it in. Again, that's why I love using hands.
Uh-huh. It's those little spatulas.
Our parsley, our basil, and of course our thyme. That just smells nice and fresh.
That smells so fresh, that's crazy. Okay.
And then we have our mixture of our 2 eggs, our cider vinegar, and our tomato sauce and Worcestershire. We're just gonna pour that over.
Pour that over on top.
And then we're gonna add a little bit of salt and black pepper.
And I do want to say on that topic, with the salt, if you're making it at home in an oven, use smoked salt as well as we were talking about the smoked Gouda, and you'll get that smoky flavor in it too, if that's what you're looking for.
So we got a teaspoon of each, and that is it. So all we got to do is just mix this together, and then we're gonna
make a loaf and put it on the sheet pan.
I'm just gonna get this good and incorporated. That's kind of my technique.
Yes.
I like to fold it over, then spin it around. Because I don't want to overwork that meat, but I want to incorporate everything.
Exactly. You want that flavor to be mixed around in there.
Well, and basically it's once all the breadcrumbs and all the liquid is absorbed into it. That beef, we had an organic grass-fed. It was a really fine grind. So you don't want to overwork it because then it will not turn out as good.
Exactly.
So we have our pan
with a little bit of foil on it.
Kind of blob of meat. Clear off dirty dishes.
Clean as you go, that's for sure.
All we're gonna do is just form it into a loaf.
It's as simple as that. What? Just a little bit of meat, some vegetables, some spices, seasoning.
Yeah, so we got a nice little loaf right here. Make sure it's even, so it's even cooking. And if you want to, you can, if you have a loaf pan, kind of more, get it wet, a little bit of water, dump it out, put in your meat, form it, put it on tray, flip it out. And that will help you make
a more uniform loaf.
Yeah.
But it's not too hard using your God-given spatulas.
All right, now we have our loaf formed.
We sure do.
And at this point, if you're putting it in your oven, I would do 350 this size meatloaf for about 50 minutes. Pull it out. We'll show you to make the glaze in just a second, but put your glaze on top, throw it back in the oven at 350 for 20 more minutes. Boom, it'll come out beautifully. Let it rest 5 minutes. Always let your meat rest after you bake it, and then you're good to go.
There we go.
But we are smoking ours.
Yes. So we're gonna put this bad boy in the smoker.
But first thing to get ready for that, we're gonna get a meat probe, because it hits about 150 to 155. We're gonna pull it out, glaze it, put it back in, and let it come up to 165. So it's gonna, in the smoker, take about 2 to 3 hours.
Let's probe our meats.
And I love these little probes. You can find them anywhere.
That was close to my face.
But important thing is when you probe it, don't just do it like this. You want it in, and where this tip is, you want it as close to center as possible, because that'll give you the best reading. And I just gotta turn this bad boy on, and most all of these have alarms. So we're just gonna set it to 155, and we'll go put it over in the smoker.
Well, that's easy as pie, actually.
That's easy as loaf. All right, well, when we get back, we'll make the glaze and put it on top of the meatloaf. So let's get to smoking.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get smoking. All right, guys, well, the meatloaf is in the smoker.
It sure is.
We got it probed, and now, while we're waiting for it to smoke, we might as well just make up our glaze, and we can put it in the fridge until we need it. So it's really simple. I know it's gonna be super hard.
Yeah, it's a hard one. It's
1 tablespoon of our Bragg's cider vinegar, and then just 3 tablespoons of the leftover tomato sauce, which is almost the whole can. And all you can do is just Mix this together, and by the time the meatloaf is ready, just pour it over the top and spread it around with a little fork, and then we'll throw it back in.
We're gonna get that in the fridge, and then...
It's a great time. Traditionally, a lot of meatloafs are made with ketchup-based sauces.
Yep.
We're doing a mushroom gravy, and the reason why is because I find it pairs so well with meatloaf. And my favorite meatloaf in the world was in this little place in Alaska, Land's End. It was elk meatloaf with this mushroom gravy on top. Oh my!
Elk meatloaf? That sounds yummy.
It's worth just flying up to Alaska and getting that meatloaf. So that's where we're heading.
Let's go.
All right, so while the meatloaf is in the oven, it's perfect time to make the sauce.
Yep, the mushroom gravy.
We'll see you once the meatloaf's ready.
Yes, we will.
All right, well, we pulled the meatloaf out of the smoker, so now we're gonna put the glaze on. And that's the glaze with the little tomato sauce and apple cider vinegar. But I'm telling you what, right now, this meatloaf smells amazing.
It does. You can really smell the smoke on it. It's super, super awesome.
So yeah, we're just gonna give it a nice little glaze. It's not rocket science. We're just gonna pour it on and
just really, we're just pouring this glaze mixture that you already saw us make on top, and we're gonna throw it back in.
Yeah, so it's been glazed. We're gonna put it in, and we'll probably let it cook for about another 30-45 minutes, and it'll be ready to go.
All right, let's get it done.
I'm heading to the smoker.
Alright guys, we'll see you when it's done.
And we're back.
So, our meatloaf just got out of the smoker, and it's been, what, about 3 hours,
It's been
right?
exactly about 3 hours. We pulled it out about 2.5 hours into it.
Yeah.
Put the glaze on. As you can see, it looks amazing. But yes, it turned out really good. Smells wonderful. We've let it rest for about 5 minutes, and now we're gonna put it on a platter and gonna have meatloaf for dinner.
We just got to garnish.
Yes. So we're gonna set that over there. And instead of a ketchup-based sauce, we went with our awesome mushroom gravy, which goes perfectly with this dish. All right, I'm gonna pull that out. Take a nice long spatula. Look at that.
Yes, sir.
Releases cleanly.
I would definitely call that a loaf.
So just to make it a little nice, and throw a little parsley on this end. I know you don't have to do it, but people appreciate it.
They will.
Slide this guy out right at the end. Bloop.
People will not expect this little extra touches like this, and that's what's really going to set your dishes apart.
Yeah, because let's face it, you're gonna buy all this parsley and only use a little bit of it and then throw the rest away.
Might as well utilize it in some sense.
Yeah. Take our nice mushroom gravy.
Ooh,
Oh, that smells so good.
man.
This is one of our go-to sauces.
It sure is.
I know it's a little different than your traditional meatloaf, but I'm telling you, mushroom gravy is much better than ketchup sauces.
It is. It's a lot better.
I just have fallen completely in love with them since Alaska.
Yeah.
So just sprinkle a little more parsley on top to give it some color, and there you go.
Look at that.
An amazing meatloaf.
Yeah.
I really want to cut into this bad boy.
I really do.
All right, it is time to dig into this bad boy.
All right, let's cut some meatloaf. Man.
Oh, that looks delicious. Oh, yes. Need a little extra gravy.
Oh, can't forget the gravy.
All right, now that is a meatloaf dinner I'm excited to have.
So let's get ready to dig in.
Ooh, that's a very happy fall dinner.
Yes, it is.
Okay, a little meatloaf with that gravy.
Wow.
Get out of here.
Wow.
That is very good.
That's some very good meatloaf.
That nice little lightly smoked. The texture, perfect.
Yep.
No.
And then the onions on the inside, man.
I'll tell you what, if y'all want to have one heck of a meatloaf dinner, go to outdoortestkitchen.org and get this recipe. And don't forget, get our mushroom gravy recipe. It pairs perfectly, I would say.
Yep. And our oven roasted asparagus recipe.
Ooh.
Look at this. So many recipes and so much deliciousness.
Wow. I'll tell you what, that's one amazing bite. A little mac and cheese, a little meatloaf.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Okay, well, but don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the little bell so you know when all our new recipes come out.
That was a good bite. I'm just gonna say that. That was good.
See? We hope you will give it a try and let us know what you think in a comment or get a hold of us on our website, outdoortestkitchen.org.
Yes, sir.
So just remember, keep camping and definitely keep cooking.
Yeah.
Like, got all this leftover meatloaf. Meatloaf.
Wellington.
Wellington.